What is up, everybody? I am joejdh. I am host of Beyond the Woodline. Real quick before I get started tonight, those of you that know, or those of you that may not know, I am part of the Jevning Research Group, which is headed up and founded by Mr. William Jevning. He's been in the Bigfoot world, man, I bet 50 years. Um, yeah, I'm part of his group. Part of his team. We have teams all over the country from Maine, New York State, Florida, Louisiana, Ohio, Michigan, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Oregon, California, and of course here in Texas. And I always leave a couple of states out. You think I know them by now, right? But I don't. If you guys are interested in joining the team, let me know. Shoot me a message. Be happy to have you guys join on. We will vet you. We will vet anybody we set you up with. Unfortunately, there are some crazy people out there, and we try to keep everybody from, try to keep everybody safe as we can. So we ask you to do the same. Research the researcher, and just trying to make sure that you're safe when you're out there. Period, right? Um, you don't have to get out into the field, once a month, 3 times a year, whatever, right? I don't go out there in the summertime just because it's too hot here in Texas. Um, the last 2 years, I've pretty much have stayed out of the forest. Um, but yeah, you don't have to get out into the field if you don't want to, or even if you can't. You can do your research from your laptop, your computer, your cell phone. Um, you can go to your local library. You can find witnesses for us. You can find locations for us. You can find techniques you think you might want us to try and use, right? Also, oh yeah, and if you want to join the team, yeah, contact me at beyond.woodline@gmail.com. And also, you can also find the shows on Spotify and YouTube. Go give me a like and give me a follow, comment, hey, what's up, whatever. It helps me out a lot. Speaking of Spotify, on Spotify, I have a new segment of this show, and it's called Woodline Encounters. That is dealing mainly with witnesses and uh, their accounts of what happened when they when they had a sighting of any of these creatures, whether it be cryptids or paranormal or UFOs, aliens. That will be like the meat of the subject. What's up, Sally? What's up, Mr. Robert? Glad you tuned in, man. I do appreciate it. Robert's one of the best guys in the field right now, too, man. He's awesome. Um, yeah, if you guys have stories, encounters, sightings that you want to share with me, shoot me a message at beyond.woodline@gmail.com. And like I said, Woodline Encounters, it's all audio only. You don't have to worry about coming on the show and being on uh, video, right? You can just talk and we'll talk. We'll talk like this. Nobody else will see us. And it's also pre recorded. Like I recorded a show last weekend. This Sunday, it was released. That was with my friend Don, who is a Native American. He talked about some of the stuff that goes on right in his culture. And I'll have him back on. He's got some great stories. We could have talked for 4 hours. Um, then Sunday also I'll have a new show released. The young man he got ran out of his camp. It was a camping trip, and he got run out. Got a log thrown at him. Pretty interesting stuff. So tune in Sunday. That show will be available on Spotify at 6 o'clock on Sunday. And then Tuesday, I will also release another show with a couple that I actually found here in Houston, in my hometown. They ran into a creature that uh, they think it may have been a dog man, and it crossed the road. You need to listen to that encounter. That's a pretty cool, crazy encounter. They were going out towards El Paso, and yeah, the creature crossed the road in front of them. Tune in, comment what you think they actually saw, because it's a crazy story. And I don't know how long I'll be on tonight. Um, my guest has yet to log in. We spoke earlier, and he has not logged in yet. And I did not want to not do a show. The last message we had was, I don't know what time it was, but it was like before 5 o'clock. And so I don't know, maybe he forgot, maybe he fell asleep. Um, Anybody's got anything to say? You want to jump on the show? Jump on the show with me. We'll talk a little bit. Um, I've got a paranormal team, Woodline Paranormal. I'm keeping the whole Woodline theme going there with Beyond the Woodline. This particular show, Woodline Encounters, which mentioned was a segment, a different segment of this show, and then now Woodline Paranormal. We'll be going out to a little town outside of Houston. It's called Old Town Spring. We'll go out there and do a little mini investigation and kind of walk around the town and see if we can pick anything up. You can look it up on YouTube. It Quite a few people have actually gone out there, and quite a few people have got quite a bit of evidence. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. I think it'll be a good little time, and I think most of our team will be there, and we'll get a chance to really get to kind of work together for the first time. And uh, you know, they're a bunch of great people, so I'm sure we'll all get along. I got to meet I don't know 4 or 5 of them the other night, a couple weeks ago. Great people. I met them through Facebook, so I told them what I wanted to do, and they were all for it. I wish I had my shirt because the shirts will be here Tuesday. So uh, it's a pretty cool little logo. I like it. And yeah, so anybody have a subject you want me to talk about? I'll talk about it. Anybody in the chat? Sally, what do you want me to talk about, Sally? Um, we can talk about equipment, right? Um, I've got a little REM pod sitting behind me. I got my spirit box back here. Um, I got a couple of digital recorders. I got my EMF. I think it'll be a good night. I've got my little body cam here too. This is what I'll be taking on my trip. And I think it'll be pretty cool. It has infrared on it so you can see in the dark. And yeah, I think it'll be a pretty nice little addition. And I'll be able to share some of my equipment with anyone who doesn't have any. Old Town Spring has got quite the legend to it. It was actually, let's see, did you ever use a millimeter? Yes, I have used one. Pretty cool. I've got some pretty decent results from it. Um, so I've got some haunted dolls behind me here. I've actually used them on them, and I'm gonna tell you what. Sometimes that thing will go off, and sometimes it'll nothing will happen. So, you know, they belong to a friend of mine. She lives in Canada actually, and Frank's box. I've never used the Frank's box, but yeah, these dolls have been behind me for a few months. For anyone who's tuned in, I got a couple on this side also. She shipped them here so that she wouldn't have to pay the charge per box when they cross Canada. They've just been sitting here, and you know who you are if you're tuning in. If you want your dolls, you know where they're at. But I like having them here. It's pretty cool. They make quite the addition to the room. I've got little lights, and yeah, Sally. So Sally's asking if I had any activity with the dolls. The answer is yes. Um, yeah, Robert says the body cams are a great addition. You know, they're great. They're a game changer. And yeah, man, this is one right here. It's pretty cool. The audio, at least from my experience, this particular one, it's not great. But I've only used it like 5 or 6 times, and it was here in the house, and I was talking. It didn't pick me up, but maybe because it was on my chest. I don't know, but I'll find out for sure Saturday when we put it to a full test, and I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know personally too, Robert. Maybe I'll send you a whatever we get. I'll send you to it. You can see it and listen to it, and you're impressed with it or you like it. I'll send you the link. I got it from Amazon. But yeah, Sally. So I got these two first, and the first night I got them, that night I heard footsteps in the room. I My multimeter was going off. My little EMF thing was going off, right, and it was like peaking right at red all the time. And she sent me these plates. I don't want to mess with them because they're kind of fragile, but they're plates also, and they were supposed to have like activities. They're an attachment to them. Uh, and man, I heard footsteps. I felt my bed go down like somebody sat in the bed. Um, and then I bought those cat balls. I had cat balls, and I've got the little lights. Those little kinds that you kind of screw right. Um, those things will go off in the middle of the night. I'd wake up and the whole room will be like strobing. Um, it was only at night that them things were going off. It was there was nobody moving around the house. Uh, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think there's some activity there, and I like the cat balls the best because to me, cat balls you've got to like there's got to be something to move them. They don't just go off just sitting there. So that's why I like the cat balls personally. I should have picked some up. We could have tried some at there at Old Town Spring. It'd have been cool to put some around some of the buildings out there and see what happens. But yeah, the dolls. I've got to say it's been pretty active so far. Like I said, sometimes when I do my little uh, EMF meter, which is this one, you know, you can't really see it. Like there's nothing really there. Just by picking up my laptop. That's why it's going crazy. And oh no, it's pretty still right there. And if I get closer, I don't know. Maybe they wanted to show up tonight, but nothing really. But yeah, this thing has gone off redlined all the way sometimes, and that's been pretty crazy. Um, I've had my spirit box on sometimes, but I don't really like to mess with it in the house. It's the SB11, and I don't really like to mess with it in the house. People say you shouldn't do that in the house. I don't know. I just I feel weird about doing it in the house. Um, but we took it to a cemetery in February. We had some pretty good results. I heard my name. My niece, they said her name also in the box. So that was pretty cool. Not only did it say my name in this particular one, but the team I was with, they had another one and they heard my name get called too twice. So that was pretty cool. So I think there's something to it, and like I said, I'm looking forward to getting out there Saturday and checking everything out, and we'll hopefully have a good time and get to talk to each other a little bit more and see how we work as a team. Yeah. Yeah, you need to tell me what that Frank's box is too. I don't know what that is exactly. Um, have any of you guys had any kind of experiences or encounters with anything crazy or unknown? I know one of the places that I want to go to is the Old Park Hotel. I want to go there. That's one of my bucket lists for here in Texas. And I want to do the Jefferson Hotel. There's a couple spots in New Orleans I want to go to also. So I don't know if I'll do those this year. Maybe next year we can plan a trip together, the group. What do you think, Sally? Where do you want to go? Where should we plan a trip? A little road trip. I know they got Lavaca County Jail. That's kind of close. We can go there. They've got the missions in, I think it's south of San Antonio. We could probably go there too. Then I want to take you guys out to the forest, San Houston Forest. Yeah, take you to a couple of spots out there. Uh, that'd be cool too. And then of course they got the Demon Road, as it's called out there by Martha's Chapel. Um, that's where we're at when we got the uh, when we were using the spirit box, and I heard my name and my niece name came through, and then they got my name on their spirit box twice. We were out there, but these places get named, Demon Road or Devil whatever the hell, devil holler. I don't know. And I don't think there's really much to any of that stuff. But you know, some kid probably got scared and pooped himself and had to have a reason why he pooped himself. And he probably said he saw the devil and then really just saw his own shadow. But yeah, I have to go to Mineral Wells, the Haunted Hill House. That'd be a cool place to go to. Um, any of you guys ever have any good results using apps? There's a bunch of different phone apps. Some people say they get good results. Some people say they don't. I'm just wondering if you guys ever got some good stuff. I was trying to upload some audio because I wanted to let you guys hear some stuff that we've gotten um, over out Bigfooting while I'm waiting on my good friend Jason to show up. But it's already 7:25. He hasn't logged in yet. But it only do video. I don't know why it won't do. And Robert says, I haven't done a lot of ghost hunting, mostly Bigfooting. I did catch an odd thermal last fall. I caught with like a paper bag floating in the breeze. It was glowing white but disappeared almost as quick as I spotted it. Yeah, dude, I think these woods out here, man, and I'm not sure where you were at, but I think the Sam Houston has definitely got some activity. Um, I'm not sure we're friends with a particular guy on Facebook, but he sent me a video going down a road in the San Houston forest, and there's this orb on the left-hand side of the road. It's pretty creepy. Um, I need to send you that so you can check it out. I don't know which road he was on, but I think it was right there near one of well, I guess the campground. I don't want to say the campground because everybody would go out there and be visiting it, but there was a campground that everybody goes to near a bridge. I think he was going down one of those dirt roads when he saw the orb. I need to send you that video. It's pretty cool little video. And like I said, I don't know if you know him too. You might know him, but he kind of stays on the down low. And that's why I don't want to mention his name because he doesn't really like to put his name out there, even though he's been on my show. But he still keeps his name, quiet. But yeah, I think there's actually a lot of paranormal activity that goes on out in the forest, and probably gets a lot of thrown in there with Bigfoot. Yeah, Mike says I hear a lot of orb stories. I have seen a lot of odd lights in the woods. Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen any orbs yet out in the forest, or so. I mean, I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure that everyone's telling the truth, and or for the most part, everyone tells the truth. There's people that I know personally and talk to me. Um, but I haven't seen one yet, man. I would love to see one. I seen an orb in my house when I was, another lifetime ago. Yeah, I've seen some orbs there. Uh, so I've actually had a lot of paranormal activity experience with that kind of stuff. And uh, one of the strangest things, Robert, that happened to me is I was walking down this trail and I heard what sounded like hogs. So I got off the trail and I walked near the lake, and you might know where I'm talking about. So I walked on along the edge of the lake. I walked, I don't know, maybe 70, 80 feet or so, and I came back towards the trail, got back on the trail, and I heard it again, and I was like, these damn hogs. Well, at least I thought it was one hog, but usually where there's one, there's more. Got off the trail, walked straight to the lake again, followed the edge of the lake, walked another, 70, 80 feet, whatever, not too far. Uh, Came back towards the trail, and the damn thing was still there, and I could hear it like grunting, and I was like, "What the hell, man? Is it following me?" So I walked along the edge, and then finally I get to where there's like a little creek, or I don't know what you want to call it. Um, there's a name for it, but I forgot what it's called. Anyway, so I walked there and I got to get back on the trail now because the trail's 10 feet away. So I walked back on the trail, um, and I heard uh, the grunt again, or snort. Really, more of a snort. But the more I think about it, the more it really wasn't like like a hog, right? So I took my pistol out, when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to shoot this damn thing if it comes out. When racked around, I heard this. It's a crazy sound, and I just froze, man. Maybe for about a good 5 minutes, just stood in that one spot, and I made the decision not to go any further, you know. But yeah, when I racked that round, that's when I heard that grumble, or I don't know what you want to call it, you know. Um, but where I was at, that trail comes all the way back around this way, and you got to walk up to the front, right, to where the trailhead's at, and so I was just like turned back around and made that little loop. Yeah, that was one of the craziest things that I had heard. And then when me and my buddy went to his location, um, twice there, we've heard that chatter that people call samurai chatter. We were out there one day. We were putting out our trail cams, and it sounded like a woman talking. It sounded like a woman talking, but it was you know you couldn't really say that she was talking English, but we could hear like this woman like murmuring. It was like a murmur. Um, then this past October when we went out there, and I haven't really told that full story except on Will Jevning's podcast. Um, yeah, if you guys get a chance, go check out Will Jevning's podcast, Creek Devil. Real, really good guy. But yeah, so we went out to his area, and you might know him too, but I don't want to say his name because he's kind of getting out of the Bigfoot stuff now. So we get out of the truck, and man, he parked right next to the damn wood line. Was right there. Instead of he usually parks right there where the road is at, because it's like a little turnaround spot. I heard something move, and it sounded like a truck that was rolling 2 3 miles an hour. And I stopped and I looked across the bed of the truck at him, and his eyes got this big, and I'm pointing, and yeah, he's shaking his head, yeah, because like I said, whatever it was huge, and it was maybe like 5 feet from me when it moved, and then it moved another, I don't know, 5 or 10 feet away from me. But it moved a lot of brush. A lot of brush was being displaced, and I walk around to the tailgate, and as I walk around to that tailgate, um, we hear some movement to our 2 o'clock, and this is maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 feet to our 2 o'clock in the woods. And he's like, I want to go check that out. And I said, no, man. I said, stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here. And he's like, no, I want to go check it out. I said, well, if you go check it out, I'll wait right here in the middle. I said, stay where I can see you. Don't get too damn far. He's like, all right. So as he's walking into the woods, he had maybe at this point, maybe he left, 20 feet from me. He gets to the edge of the wood line. And when he gets there, I hear this thud down the road. And it's maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 feet down the road. And I tell everyone, it sounded like someone got this big rock, like a basketball-sized rock, and dropped it on the ground, as hard as they could. And I turned, but he didn't hear it. I heard that. But as he's getting to that wood line, that's when that happened. And then at the same time, something came through the trees. And when it came through the trees, you could hear it, going through the branches and the twigs, right? Um, but right before that happened, we heard this like a tongue pop. It was like one of those aliens from that movie Signs. That's what it sounded like. That's the noise that it was making. And so we were kind of like, "What the hell was that?" And I mean, he spun around and looked right at me. And um, we were when we heard that that damn tongue popping or whatever the hell it was. Uh, yeah, we didn't know what the hell to think. Like I said, but it reminded me of that movie Signs where we heard when the way those aliens would talk. And so he's walking into the woods, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Because there is like a little bridge right there, and there's a culvert, that goes across that creek. And I said, all right. I said, he's going to the left. I'm gonna go to the right. So as he's going to the left, I'm going to the right. I hear walking in the water down at the creek, and it goes under the bridge, and under that culvert, And before I could turn around to tell him, "Hey, it's coming your way," he's coming back up that bank, and he's like, "Nope, nope, nope, nope. They're down there." I could hear him moving around. He's like, "We need to get out of here." And I said, "Let's go, come on." Because at that point, I, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I was pretty scared. I was pretty rattled because what really worried me was that nothing ran away from us. Nothing ran away from us. We've been up near deer, and them things scatter. And whatever this was didn't run away. And at this point, we had heard movement from at least three different directions, not including that thud that I heard, which I thought at that time that maybe something got thrown, right? But it wasn't until later, and I started piecing everything together. I don't think anything got thrown because when we left, there was nothing in the road. And then also when it hit the ground, it was just the one thud. It didn't hit and then like it rolled or it tumbled. It just hit the ground and that was it. Uh, so at this point, I'm now today as I sit here, I'm thinking something jumped across the road rather than something was thrown. And I think that tongue pop was uh, whatever, giving orders, saying, "Hey, move or do your thing." And that's when the thing got thrown. Something got thrown to the trees, and that's when he jumped across the road. So yeah, so that's what happened that night. You and we went back to our camping spot, um, and which was I hate saying names on because it's not that I don't like giving locations away, but I know how people are, man. They'll just show up and just start trashing the area and run everything off. But if you've been out to the Sam Houston, you probably know the area. It's a primitive campground place. Um, and where we were at, where he had his original sighting, was on the other side of 45. So it was maybe a good 25, 30-minute drive back. And we didn't even talk, man. Had one wailing or crying one night and didn't even think about recording audio with my phone. One of my friends has heard the tongue pop. Yeah, you know, um, dude, when we got off the truck, we didn't record anything. We had phones and recorders with us, and we didn't turn any of that stuff on. But in all honesty, I mean, we were there 3, maybe 4 minutes at the absolute most. We weren't there very long at all. We didn't sit there and say, "Hey, get the recorder, get the phone, get your gun out, defend ourselves." We didn't say any of that stuff. Um, yeah, but yeah, Rob, but dude, I'd love to take you out to that spot. We have found a lot of tracks out there. Um, I bet we've found at least 5 different sizes of footprints out there in that one area. And yeah, man, your tracks that you had posted the other time, that was pretty cool. That was you, right? That posted those tracks, that track away. Um, yeah, I think that was you. And didn't you get some good sounds too? Some screams? Or was that somebody else? I'm thinking of somebody else. But yeah, we saw some good eye shine out there one time. Uh, these things, there's I don't know, 7.5 feet in the air, bright red eye shine. It looked like LEDs, and I'm not a believer of these things being self-luminescent. I don't know why a creature would need lights coming out of his eyes. I mean, I don't know, but I just think these guys can really absorb a lot of the light, and you know, I mean, that's how night vision works. Absorbing small lights. I still have hours of audio from recorders to go through. My buddy has even more, lots and lots of audio. Dude, I've got audio I haven't heard since like 2016. I've got SD cards I haven't even gone through. And what was funny, I don't know if you're familiar with Shane from Southern Bigfoot Alliance. Um, During COVID, he sent me a message. He goes, "Hey, is this from your recorder?" Because like some of these recorders, they'll have the brand, like in the file format, it'll tell you what kind of recorder it was. And I forgot what I had. If it was a Olympus or Sony or I've got another brand I can't remember. It's like an off brand, and I think that's what it was, the off brand one. And I was like, "Yeah, that's my recorder." And he's like, "Well, listen to this." And we were out at one of the hunter camps on the other side of 45 on the towards the New Waverly side. That's all I'll say. And you probably know the camp. So we were sitting out there. And it was me and Shane, and I believe David was out there with us. There was three of us, and I had brought those chem lights. You should try that, Mike. Man, I mean Robert, I bet you'd have a lot of luck with that. Those those little chem lights that you break in half and you shake up and they glow in the dark. And I had tied fishing string to them and I left them around in different spots of the forest over there. And we probably put six recorders out that night at different spots out there. But we also put some out at our camp. Um, so Shane sent me this recorder and it's like, hey, was this yours? And I'm like, yeah. He sent me some audio. And I'm like, yeah, that was from my recorder. So there's something walking around the camp while we're asleep, you know, and whatever it was, but it was on 2 feet, and you could hear it walking. Could it have been a man? Probably. During that time, we were the only ones out there, uh, and as well as I do, it's a pretty dumb mistake to go walking around people's camps at night. And this thing wasn't being extremely quiet, so if it was a man, he was taking a big chance of going out there. Um, I've had some pretty good experience out there. That's a pretty good experience out there. Some pretty good luck, and yeah, says I usually hang two recorders every time I go out, and usually one game camera. Yeah, yeah, I think I do too. I usually hang at least two recorders out there. Um, I'm sure you probably know a lot of the same spots I know of, but I'd love to give you some ideas. And uh, but like I said, you probably know the same areas I know. Um, there's one area that my friend went to, the one who had his encounter, the one I was out there with the truck with. The reason why he's in Bigfoot is because he had an encounter out there, wasn't even expecting it, and it happened to him. And the one he saw was 9.5 feet tall. And he he told me that he knew that because there was a white spot on the tree. He goes, if we go out to that tree, we can measure it. He goes, but it looked like it was at least 9.5 feet tall. It was across a creek from where he was standing on one side and the creature was standing on the other. And he said there was a big white spot, and it's the fungus that grows on some of these trees. And when he told me that, I was like, nah, there's no way it's a 9.5 foot one out here, right? We go out there, he shows me the tree. There's a white spot. We measured it, 9.5 freaking feet tall. Yeah, that's where his head came to. But yeah, he had got into the Bigfoot thing, and he was like, hey, can you tell me an area to go to? And it was the middle of the daytime. I said, yeah, you know what? Go to this spot. It's usually pretty chill, right? You can get some good recordings out there and some good audio. So him and his buddy got ran out, and when he sent me the video for that, I hear something crash on the ground, and I text him. I said, "Dude, did one of you guys fall down?" He goes, "No, that was a log that got thrown at us." Yeah, I was like, "Holy cow, man!" He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I'll never go back to that area again." Yeah, they ran him out. Um, his friend dropped his vape, uh, and the top part fell off. And they went looking for it, and they couldn't find it. And he just figured he was lost. But when they came back on the trail, they found the top part of his vape again. And someone told me there's one out there about 12 foot. I don't know about 12 foot, but I can't. There's a 9.5 foot one out there. There might be a 12 foot one out there. And you know what? So out at that area where he had his sighting with that 9.5 foot one, uh, he called me one day because he took some other guys out there. I don't know if you know Gabriel or them, but he took them out there, and there was a branch that was broken. It was hanging over the road, and that thing was about 12 feet high. But not only was it broken, but it was twisted, like a damn dish rag. I don't know if I ever showed you that picture either, but yeah, it was twisted, man. It wasn't just snap. And of course, people were like, well, maybe a big truck came out there and hit it. You know as well as I do, these little roads, there ain't no going to be no 18 wheeler going out there and hitting it, because they're not going to be able to turn around and come back out. And then, why only hit one tree? There's tons of other trees on the way in. Uh, there wasn't a windstorm, because if there was, all the other trees would have been destroyed too. Someone even told me it could have been an ice storm, or like it was in the middle of July. There's no ice storm in July, especially here in Texas. Um, that was the only tree that was damaged out there. Yeah, but it was the craziest thing. We found a hog with its head ripped off out in that same area. I mean, what's going to rip a damn hog's head off? Uh, yeah, we've had some pretty cool encounters out there in Sam Houston. I like going out there, and I took my sister out there one time, and she's like, "You come out here at night?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're crazy." She goes, "How do you come out here at night?" I said, "Just do it, just do it." In this one area too, there's supposed to be like a big gray one. I don't know if you've heard that in one particular area, but when I first started doing this, right, I was out there, and I had somebody with me, and my brother-in-law and my sister were out there with me too. As a matter of fact, it was like in 2012, and we were out there, and the person I was with was like, "Hey, look, there's something over there by that tree," and I looked that way, and I see this flash of red fur just flash across, from one tree to the to the next, and I'm like, "Yeah, there it goes right over here," and I point. She goes, "No, no, 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 not there." She goes, "More over here." She points more to the left. There's a big tree, and they had like this Y, in the middle of it. So me and my brother walked over there to look, and we couldn't find anything. And the brush was really high there. We had to walk, through all this crap, and we came back, and she told me no. She goes, "Whatever it was," she goes, "it was way taller than you and Patrick." She goes, "Because the brush was so high." She goes, "We couldn't even see you guys." And I'm 5'8", so I'm not really short, but I'm not really tall either. And she goes like, "If you're right here," she goes, "this thing was like up here, And she told me it was dark gray, and I was like, "Okay." So as I get into this field and I'm talking to more people in that area, there's been a big gray one that has been seen there. And I had a guest on the show one time, and she was telling me in that same area that she was backing her truck up at the trailhead, and she saw this big gray one behind her there at the trailhead. And she didn't tell me where it was. So after we got off the show, I asked her about it, and it's the same spot, same exact spot. So I thought that was pretty cool stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna cut this show short tonight. And he says, "I love going out to the Sam. I do have I do have to make it out to the David Crockett National Forest." Yeah, I've been out to David Crockett one time. I didn't have any luck, but I don't know where to go over there. Yeah, because I had a good encounter. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, like I said, some of these guys go to the Davy Crockett, and they found like some shelters and stuff. They've heard noises and howls. They were supposed to go hunting, and they didn't even go hunting. I think on one of the days because there was so much howling and shit going on. But yeah, it's probably people in the field too. We need to get together, Robert, and talk, man. I bet we could get some pretty good evidence together, or at least do some pretty good recon. Uh, Yeah, guys, I guess I'm gonna close the show up a little early, and you know, like I said, if you guys have some encounters, some sightings you guys want to talk about, man, shoot me an email beyond.woodline@gmail.com. Go to Spotify or YouTube, give me a follow, give me a like. Um, yeah, never heard of what Billy, if you don't mind me asking. Um, let me see if he gives me an answer real quick before I close the show up. He just says never heard of her. That seems interesting to visit. You're talking about the Davy Crockett? Yeah, that's even if you're talking about David Crockett, it's even further north than Sam Houston. Um, yeah, Robert. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you have a great night too. Um, yeah, Billy, if you're talking about the David Crockett, it's I don't know, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours north of Houston. Yeah, David Crockett is about 2.5 hours north of Houston. The Sam Houston is about an hour north of Houston. But yeah, if you guys have any sightings or encounters, you guys want to talk about it, you don't have to come on this show. You can talk about it on Woodline Encounters. You can remain anonymous. and just tell your story, man. I'll be happy to have you guys on, and you know, I guess didn't show up tonight, but that's okay. You know, I made a nice little show out of it, I think. And I go to Spotify, go to YouTube, give me a like, give me a follow. I would appreciate that. Sunday, tune into Spotify because Woodline Encounters episode 2 will be coming out. Pretty cool episode. And then on Tuesday, episode 3 will come out on Spotify. Check that out. Woodline Encounters. It's a new segment to Beyond the Woodline. Woodline Paranormal. We'll be making our first official investigation Saturday. I'll start a YouTube channel on that, and yeah, we'll go from there. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you too much. If you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, just give me a call. You know, I'm not hard to find. You can message me on Messenger. You know, shoot me an email. Any of that. So with all that being said, guys, you guys have a great night. Happy Friday. Take care. You guys be nice and behave. Talk to you later.